Now, allow Uncle Roland to share with you a little bit more about what is smart work life. How about that? And then what you will be looking forward to see or watch. That's right. So smart life. Let's start with smart life. Now, smart life is really about knowing yourself. It's about knowing the people around you. But more importantly, is to build great relationship. And with this great relationship, we can come together as a community, as a family, and then from there we can do great things. How about that? That's right. So smart life is about really able to build the community so that your family can enjoy life, live life to the fullest, and not being alone. And when you need help, there is help. When you need support, there is support. And when you need someone to really bring you to the next level, you can do it. And that is about smart life. So how about smart work? In fact, we have this called smart office. In other words, take this opportunity, put the workplace into your control. What you can do is how to make your workplace into a better working environment. So this is where we can share with you many kind of system, or AV system or live streaming system, or actually some kind of working environment support system, so that to make your workplace so much enjoyable, not only to work by yourself, but actually to work with your co-workers, with your peers, and so that that working place is going to be an adventurous, fun, and enjoyable place to live. And with that, we achieve life and work balance. That's right. So we hope that with that will give you a good idea of what you can do and take action in your life. So do stay tuned because Uncle Roland and his friend will be back with more of this. I'm Roland Ang here. I'm the host for today, Live Life to Fullest.tv. And today our topic is parenting wisdom, especially in terms of understanding your child personality. And with that, right, we also hope that with that, it can help you to improve your relationship with your child. So of course, here we have Andrew Song to continue to share with us. So with that, let's continue this conversation.
It's getting interesting.
Now, what can be the result of bad communication between parents and their children?
Very simple. Because of the top-down, because of the positional leadership, the child eventually don't want to spend time with the parents. Why would we want to spend time with someone who is so negative all the time? Wherever I go, I get nagged at. Why don't you behave this way? That kind of thing. And when I'm on the dining table, I get interrogated. So what's school like? How many marks you do? Do you do homework? So everything is about work, right? There's nothing about me. So eventually the child will feel that, why should I spend time with you? Mom, Dad, I may as well go spend time with my friends who accept me for who I am. That's the key.
Yeah.
They don't accept the child, or they want to duplicate the child and think the child is them. Like you just said, setting expectations that are not realistic.
Yeah. Actually, I want to take this opportunity to sort of defend the parents a bit.
Okay.
All right. I don't think we're saying that the parents has bad intention.
Yes.
Or very negative expectation or unrealistic demands. Yep. I don't think we are talking about that.
Yep.
We understand that parents, they have good intention for their children.
Yep.
Definitely.
Every parent has that.
Even if it's a top-down approach, and we believe that it has good intentions.
Yes, yes.
I mean, coming from my own experience, all right, I have parents who use top-down approach.
Yep.
All right. And I have to agree, it really caused a lot of tension. And you're right in the sense that, I don't feel like I want to talk to them. I don't even feel like I want to live with them.
Yep.
All right. And of course, with that, I decided that I want to have my own life. But what happened is that it took me many, many years to realize that, wow, actually,
my parents, they have good intention for me.
Yes.
But that's the point. Is that it took me how many years? It took me like 20 years to realize my parents' good intention. Now, how I wish that if right from the beginning,
Yes.
I already know that it's because the way we communicate
Yep.
that are different.
Correct.
And I would able to understand that why my parents treat me like that.
Yes.
Or maybe the other way. My parents may understand why I'm not reciprocating
Yep.
the way that they want.
Correct.
Then I think this relationship could have already,
Be much better.
much better.
Yes.
That we have not wasted 20 years of our time.
Yep.
And sometimes I regret it. But I just realized that that's what happened. It is what it is.
Yes.
It's not because I want it that way. And there's so much regrets. There's so much regrets. And I think we hope that today, if we hear from Andrew, all right, it may give us better insights, and so that we can study right.
You're right. Correct.
Study right.
Correct.
Especially if, let's say, your children are young now and can take this opportunity. All right. Okay, good. So with that, let's continue. Okay. So how can now we are into it.
Yeah, now we do it. Yeah, sure.
Okay. How can personality profiling help parents and children in relationship building?
Okay, that's interesting. Now, I want to take a point from what you mentioned earlier on. I'm not saying that what the parents are doing right now is wrong. Quite a few of the parents are bringing up the children from the top down, unintentionally and not aware that what they are doing actually is not helping the relationship. Okay. For whatever the case may be, I did the same when I was bringing up my son, because my father brought me up the way he brought me up, which is the best way he knew how. He wasn't intentional in being the fierce father or the authoritative father, because that was what and how he knew how to bring me up. And just like you, more than 20 years after, I look back and say, yeah, so I got scolded at all those things at that time when I was young. I didn't like it. But when I became a father myself, I appreciated what my father did. Same like you. That he did what he could, the best he could, with whatever knowledge he knew. But why I'm sitting here today is I would like our younger parents of today not to follow your parents of yesterday. And to use what we have to offer you as a blueprint for your children, so that you now have a better understanding of how your children is wired, that you can use the correct way of bringing them up to help them maximize their giftedness and their strength area, instead of creating miscommunication with them and all these sour relationships, because the children are our next generation. If I don't do something now to help you as parents bring your children up in a more holistic way, we will just be replicating what our generation was before to the next generation. And there will be no improvement in our lifestyles, everything will be the same. Same, that they used to say, right? So I'm here because I feel that there's a mission to help the parents out there develop children for the tomorrow, so that we have a better generation that will bring our nation and our world to a better place. Because everyone becomes more holistically brought up. So coming back to this question, how can personality profiling help you? When we do a DISC personality profiling, let me just help you understand what DISC means first, all right? D stands for dominant. In other words, children who have this dominant nature are natural leaders. They are very risk takers. They are willing to go forth and try, right? The I are for children who are very influencing. They are the ones that you will find very talkative. And they'll talk to anybody and everybody with no fear. But the one thing about them is that they just need company. They need to be among people. And during this circuit breaker, some of you parents will find that your child is stressed because the child is deprived of his or her He or she needs people around them. the parents are not enough, because the parents are not the ones that communicate with them at their level. They need people who are at their level. So the school is the part that way they're missing. Okay. The S are for children who are very steady. They're very people-centric. They're very caring. But they're also not those who will accept change very readily. Okay. So this circuit breaker again creates problems for them because it's a total change of their natural comfort zone. Of being in school, or being, etc. So they too have to adjust. And if, like what you say, the parents are quarreling at home, this poor child is just, oh man, the emotions are just turned upside down. And that's where the stress point comes up. For those who are C, it's about being compliant. And a compliant child is a very task-oriented child. They need data and information to sometimes make decisions, right? And so again, all these plays a part into the child who is in your home today, and it's creating stress. They're no longer in their natural environment, which is going to school, going out for ECA, meeting their friends, etc., right? Okay. So how will this help you is when you do a profiling for your child, you then understand that, okay, I have 3 children. One could be a D, one could be an S, one could be an I, or whatever. And then you understand their charism. I just said a D needs to lead. But because we treat our children from top down, every decision we make for them versus allowing them to make the decision. So we are stifling their giftedness of being able to make decisions and lead. So I'll give you an example. A lot of parents, when they bring the children up, they tell the children, I want you to wear this color, I want you to wear this pattern, I want you to wear this shoe brand, etc., etc., etc. And if the child is a D child, he or she doesn't have the opportunity to make decisions. As a result, they are being stifled. They want to make the decision, but they cannot because the parents keep saying, do it. But if you understand your child's makeup and you know that your child is a D, you allow your child to exercise the charism. Instead of telling your child, wear this color, buy this shoe, buy this brand, you go to a shopping center and you tell the child, okay, this is a shopping center. You want to buy a pair of shoes, right? You want to buy t-shirts, whatever. You go and choose what you want. The color you want, the pattern you want, the size you want, etc. When you're done, text me, call me. I will come and pay. Now, there's a big difference telling the child, you must buy this versus go and choose, come back to me, and I'll pay. You allow the child, the D child, to exercise the charism. Then the child feels, oh, my mommy and daddy respect my decision. So the child feels more connected with you because you have allowed the child to do that. Just a simple example. So if you know how your child is wired, you will allow your child to exercise the charism. It's very important. Small little thing, very, very important.
This is interesting.
Yes.
In other words, it's not about whether my child is listening to me or not, or whether my child is disobedient or not, or whether my child is not loving me anymore. And it's not about that.
Yes, not about that.
All right, there's nothing personal. It's just the way they behave.
Correct.
That's the way they work.
Yeah.
And I think the unfortunate thing is, it creates so much tension.
Yes.
Because we have a certain misunderstanding.
Correct.
That my child is disobedient. My child doesn't love me anymore.
Yep.
All right. And in that case, why I need to do this for him or for her?
Correct.
And I think this adds on.
Exactly.
Right? Adds on.
Exactly. Let me share with you another example which is very common. My child is not studying enough and I want him to sit there for an hour to study. But every now and then he's very fidgety. He goes to do something else. He just doesn't want to stay there to study. And then when I do the DISC, I find that my child is an I-wired child. That gives me a different story. An I-wired child, the mind is always wandering. They're always multitasking. They're always doing things every now and then. And they cannot sit still and concentrate for a full hour. Okay? Because as they're doing this thing, they're thinking, oh, I forgot to text my friend. Then they go and do something else. Then they come back again. They continue, oh, I forgot to finish this. Then he goes and do something, he comes back again. As a result, they drop the ball on the main thing that they're supposed to do. Now, couple that with a mother or a father who is a C-wired. The C-wired person must do from A to Z. You cannot jump from 1 to 3, 3 to 5 and come back to 2. No way. You must be from 1 and end in 10. if that's the way. So the C mother will say, sit down here and finish your studies. No, you must do your things here. You must, etc., etc. But the child is eye-wired and they cannot concentrate for so long. But the eye-wired child can concentrate in short spans. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 15. So if the mother knew that this is an eye child, she would say, okay, you concentrate for 10 minutes, okay? I'll let you go and play. Do something else, and then you come back again, right? Then I will reward you when you come back. Because eye child thrives on praise and acceptance. So when the child comes back and says, oh, every time I come, I get one star. Oh, happy, or I get a sweet. I want to come back. So he spends 15 minutes fully concentrating. Off he goes, plays his Game Boy for a little while. Comes back again, the mom says, okay, you get 1 star. If you get 10 stars, I buy you something, or I will reward you with this. So she used reward and praise to attract and motivate the child. Because then she knows my child is eye-wired. That's how she does it. But if she doesn't know, then she's getting very stressed out. Why my child cannot sit still and study and do from 1 to 10? Because I'm C-wired. The mother is C-wired. Cannot understand. So as a result, what she does, she pours oil onto fire and starts scolding the child, beating the child, punishing the child. And the child says, why are you punishing me? That's how I'm wired. I cannot sit still for an hour, Mom. Don't you understand that? And because the child is young, no choice, right? Kena. But that adds more and more stress to the child, to the point the child hates studying Chinese, hates studying mathematics, because my mother forced me to do it. So the approach is wrong. Because they don't understand.
Having said that,
Yeah.
does that mean that if I were to understand his personality,
Yes.
which is an I,
Yes.
all right, and I allow him
Yep.
to do his own way,
Not his own way, but you have boundaries. You set boundaries for him as well.
there it goes, right?
Yes.
So I suppose is for a C parent
Yes.
to able to systemize
Yes.
in a certain way
Yep.
that allow his personality,
Yep.
all right, to grow,
Yep.
but yet at the same time slowly
Yes.
get him into a C mode.
Into a systematic way of doing it. He
systematic
won't be a C. Never be a C.
You never been C. Okay. All right, you're
Yeah.
right. So in other words, the expectation, right, of the
Yes,
parents.
correct.
Because now we're talking about how this personality profiling will help parents.
Exactly.
So I think it's really like to able to manage their own expectation.
Correct.
For example, you're right.
Yep.
My I child is never going to be a C child.
Never.
But maybe I can get him
Yep.
to have maybe 30%, 40% C.
Yep.
But what is more important is to let the I also able to grow healthily.
Correct. Right. Exactly.
Rather than to stifle the I
yes.
and try to get him to become a 100% C,
Not possible.
which is
Not possible.
it's like you're asking.
It's like putting a square peg in a round hole.
Yeah,
Eventually, what happens is they will rebel.
that's right.
They will rebel.
All right.
And that's why parents cannot figure out, why is my child so rebellious? It's because of these little things.
Yeah, and worse is they compare with themselves as the yardstick. See, I can do it. Why not you?
Exactly. Or they compare with someone else. Another someone else's child, or the brother, or the sister, and it makes the child feel...
That is worse.
So it's low self-esteem starts from there. I'm not good enough. You're a hopeless child. So the word hopeless has a major impact. Parents should never use that word hopeless on a child. You're telling the child, and sometimes, like you earlier said, some of the children take a really silly decision and do something silly. In all these years that you brought your child, you want to see that to waste? Why?
Yeah.
Yeah, why? Why waste the child's life?
Okay. Wow. This is a good conversation. Huh? Again, we are still not there yet.
Yeah, right. We're not even close.
All right. So let's see. Now, how does personality profiling resolve parent and child conflict?
Well, we already touched a little bit on it,
That's
right?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if the parent understands how the child is wired, and they understand how they are wired, which is also important. You may know the child's behavioral style, but if you don't know your own, then you're also coming from an area of blindness, or you're blinded.
You're right. Okay, this one,
Yep.
I'm going to help you. I'm going to
Sure.
help you. Yes, because a lot of time parents say that the problem is my child. I do not need profiling. My child need profiling.
Yes.
Right, so that he can understand himself better.
Yep.
But I do not need. Because he's the problem, not me. Okay, so you're saying that in order for this to really work,
Yeah, both sides.
in order for both of them
Yes.
to able to resolve this conflict, right, it's important for them to know each other and their own personality.
Exactly. Let me give you an example. You have a D child, you're an I-wired mother. And I-wired people would like to talk a lot. And the D child is just wants it short and sharp, cut and dry. So you come and talk to your child, you want to give him or her instructions to do certain things, but you're I-wired. So you start with, son, I went to the market and met your auntie. I met your auntie, and then we went to the coffee shop. We started talking, and then we spoke about where she went, how she enjoyed herself. Then the D child standing there, Mom, hurry up. Give me the instruction. I want to just give it to me and go. Why are you wasting my time? So in his mind, he's saying that, give it to me quick lah. You're telling me this story about auntie for what? Nothing to do with what you want me to do, right? So that in itself is already assumptions and misconceptions already. So that's negative. On the reverse, the mother is a D. The son is an I. And she's giving instructions. All right, go do this. Chop, 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 chop. Okay, off you go. Then the son said, Mom, you don't like me. Why are you not speaking to me? Why are you not sharing things with me? Why you don't love me? So again, misconception, right? Now, if the mother understands that the son is an I, she's a D, she needs to spend a little bit more time talking to the child about frivolous things first, then give the instruction. So the child feels that, Mommy loves me. Then I go do my work. And if on the reverse, the child is a D, she's an I, okay, I don't spend so much time telling you stories. Here's what I want you to do. Go clean your room. This is da-da-da-da. Off you go. Then he goes. It helps a lot because then it takes away all this misconception about, you don't love me? Why you don't listen to me? Just exactly what you just said.
That's right.
Exactly.
So in other words, this personality profiling, if you can understand, it saves you so much frustration, time, all right? And in fact, this also allows you to quickly build that positive relationship.
Exactly.
That loving relationship.
Yep.
And with that bonding that is so strong, that, well, if you want me to do anything, I'm willing to do it.
Exactly.
Right? Because I do it out of this relationship.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's just like anything else. When you have a relationship with somebody, and you want that person, you need help from that person. Because of that relationship, that friendship, that person is more willing to stop everything, even though he or she is very busy, to help you. Because we have a relationship. However, if you do not have a relationship, what I'm going to tell you, Roland, wait. Let me finish my things first. If I have time, I will come and help you. If not, I'm sorry, I'm going to do my things. Same with relationships. The minute you build the relationship, you build the connection, it's the touching the heart versus touching the head. Things begin to resolve all these conflicts. This has all been built up over the years because unfortunately, the parent is unaware of what they are doing is actually counterproductive versus productive. Now I'm going to give you this blueprint of your child so that you know for sure how he or she is wired and what phrases to use to motivate them to do things and how you should work with them to allow their giftedness to surface. It's a big difference. If I only knew, I've got two sons. If I only knew, like you would say, if we only knew, life would have been so simple.
You're right, yes.
Right? We've been doing it trial and error. We hit and miss.
That's true.
Sometimes we're lucky, we hit. But most times we miss. And then what happens? We regret. Why? Why live in a world of regret? Why not take this step and be to know what's happening? Yeah?
Wow, so this really a lot of insight coming from Andrew.
Aha! All right. So thanks for really coming on board. And we're really so happy that you have become part of our family, uOk, iOk. Hey, take this advantage because we know that building relationship is so important. So take this opportunity and download our ebook for free simply because You want to have a happy family within your house. You want to build happy relationship with your children and with your spouse. So take this opportunity because Uncle Roland has some tips in that ebook. That's right. I'm going to share with you how you can improve your relationship with the people around you. And it is free. Outside is worth $14.90, but we are giving you it for free. So with that, catch this opportunity, download it before we're going to start charging. So Uncle Roland seeing you with the ebook. Have a good day. Hey, now this is Uncle Roland. So how is it for you? Do you like what you are seeing? Now if so, hey, support us. So what can you do? Now all you simply need to do is to scan the QR code right in front of you. That's right, that QR code. And that QR code will bring us to our YouTube channel, and all you need to do is to subscribe. The moment you subscribe to us, we will send you a notification whenever we have a live streaming or we will post a video. And for that, you will never miss what we are going to share with you. So do take note, scan this QR code because Uncle Roland will be back.